Hey everybody, I'm back. It's Monday and I'm going to talk to you about seller motivations. These are the big seller motivations you're going to have to know if you're going to write deals in 2024. Let's jump right in.
What about virtual lease option wholesaling? Yeah, check it out. Free documents package for you at shutupmoney.com. Might as well go now.
Hey, thank you for watching today. I'm very excited to have you here. This is my daily or almost daily lease option live stream. I talk a lot about lease options here because that is a gateway drug for creative real estate. It really, truly is. Or either that or I'm a gateway drug for creative real estate. I'm not sure which one, but thank you for watching today. For whatever reason you're watching, you're such a blessing. Thanks for being here. I do have the chat open, so if you want to say hi to me today, if you want to ask a question, feel more than free to. But today we are talking about getting deals. And what I mean by getting deals is recognizing seller motivations, knowing exactly what kind of seller you're talking to, recognizing that they are on the scale of 1 to 10 motivation, 10 being high motivation. They are pretty high. All right. We want to fire the ones that are pretty low. Pretty low, meaning less than 4, I would say. 4, 3, 2, 1. But now the ones that have motivation, they're going to be talking differently. And that's what I want you to take away from this more than anything is I want you to recognize and take away today that motivated sellers sound different. It's possible that if you're new in this business, that you have not really even yet talked to a motivated homeowner to recognize exactly what they sound like, because they sound different than regular unmotivated homeowners. Now, how do they sound different? They sound different because they talk about different things. And I'm going to tell you today what those 10 things are. They talk about 10 different things, maybe more. You might have more, you might have thought of less. But these are the 10 that I have experienced in my business as far as homeowners with motivation. These are the things that they talk about. So it becomes imperative for you, if you are a deal getter. If you're a deal getter, it becomes imperative for you to be able to recognize the motivated homeowners by what they're talking, by the language that they're talking, okay? So let's jump right into the first one. The first one is, I'm going to write it down and put it on the screen for you. Bleeding. What do I mean by bleeding? If you have a thought about what I mean about bleeding, and I chose this one first because this is the most popular one that I have found. Bleeding. What do I mean by bleeding? Somebody tell me. You know, other folks describe it as hemorrhaging. Ooh, that doesn't sound very good. Neither one of these sounds good. I don't like to bleed. Don't want to hemorrhage. So when we find a homeowner that is bleeding, what are they talking about? Go ahead and put that in the chat if you know. What does it mean when a homeowner is bleeding? And thanks everybody for watching. I see quite a few people watching out there. God bless you. Thanks for joining in on a Monday. It means financial distress. Okay? Distress. That's like the worst kind of stress. Distress. Financial distress. Bleeding. Somebody out there in the Facebook world said making 2 payments. Yeah. Bleeding that extra payment. Ouch. Sometimes that happens, but it doesn't necessarily have to be bleeding an extra payment. It could be bleeding in some other way. Let's talk about what are some of those. Well, it could be a job loss. If you hear your homeowner talking about job loss, if you hear your homeowner talking about an impending foreclosure, if you see, I'm trying to expand your minds now to recognize this. this massive motivation pool that's out there, y'all. It is out there. You know what? I guarantee you, if you've been doing this long, you've ran across some of these and maybe you didn't even recognize. Okay, now you would have recognized the impending foreclosure, but significant debts. Okay. So whatever it is, it's financial strain. Okay. Relocation is the second one. Let's write that down. Relocation. So the first one was financial distress. The second one is relocation. All right. So let me put that on the screen here, because here's how I wrote that down. Moving is a must. Moving is a must. That's the second motivation. That's the big one. Financial distress is the first one. They're bleeding. Okay. The second one is moving is no longer an option. It is a must. It is a mandatory. Relocating. Is it true or not true that homeowners who are relocating for work or personal reasons, and listen, it could be personal reasons. I did a deal one time with a homeowner whose daughter had severe emotional and mental troubles. They needed to move to get closer to a hospital that could care for her the way that they wanted. Okay. So we get locked in this box. It's always a job. It's always 2 payments. It's always no. Got to open up the box a little bit. Pandora's box. Remember, a lot of stuff come out of it. If you guys remember that story from mythology in school, Pandora's box, when it's opened, there's a lot of stuff that comes out of it. Okay. So let's open up metaphorically here. Let's let Pandora open up her box. Okay. Because there's a lot of things that, other than just 2 payments or, I got to move for work. All right. So it could be personal reasons. It could be grandma's sick. They got to move. For whatever reason, when you hear your motivated homeowner start talking about bleeding, which is the first one, financial distress, or number 2, they must move. Now, you're working with, if it's a pretty house, you're probably working with a good lease option candidate. And why do I say lease option? Again, because lease option is like, I say at least, it would be at least a lease option candidate, because after all, it's a pretty house. They're motivated, and lease option is the perfect strategy to start talking about with a homeowner. And that may segue into something more significant, like maybe contract for deed, maybe subject to, maybe a wrap. I don't know. It depends on the homeowner, right? But it starts by recognition in you of these motivations. Okay, so let's talk about the first one was financial distress or bleeding. The second one is moving as a must or relocating. The third one is one that we overlook a lot. As investors, I know I'm guilty of this. Divorce or separation. Divorce or separation. Yes, you've got to recognize this. Have I ever done deals, divorce or separated? Oh, you bet your sweet bippy I have. Oh, yeah. You know what? I've even done deals on houses that I lived in when I got divorced. Okay? So I know this is a real thing. All right. So divorce or separation. The first one, bleeding. The second one, moving. The third one, divorcing. But you know what? I bet if I did a checkup on 98% of all wholesaler investors in America, the divorcees don't even make the list. And actually, PropStream's made it easier for you. So there's divorce. What's the next one? The next one is when you hear them start saying this. I inherited this property. Yeah. Or they might say it like this. This used to be so-and-so's house, and I got it back when they died. All right. So an inherited property, because people who inherit properties, remember, most of the time were not seeking to have a property in their life. Most of the time they live somewhere already. Okay. A lot of times they inherit somebody's house. They immediately want to quick change that into some money. If it's a pretty house, you might be able to do something creative. Maybe not. A lot of times these inherited houses are ugly. Okay, so you need to be, that's why it's important to be a transaction engineer, okay? Because you might run across this, and you might, first of all, let's just do that as a quick example. You might run across this person that's bleeding, which means they have financial distress. They have 2 payments. They have, for some reason, significant job loss or income reduction, or something is severely going wrong with their finances. That person has a pretty house. That might be a lease option. This one here, inherited. When I hear about inherited, what I really want to know pretty quickly thereafter is, well, how long have you owned it? And what kind of work needs to be done in there? Have you cleaned it out? Have you updated it, rehabbed it? Because, mama probably didn't do that right before she died, right? So, yeah, I mean, usually that's not people's deathbed exercise, right? Oh, I'm rehabbing the house. Okay. All right, so let's do the next one here. And we kind of bumped up against it just a minute ago talking about inherited properties, but when you see or hear your homeowner talking about the property needing repairs in any respect, whether they inherited it or not, this is a motivated type homeowner. Okay. When they're telling you, the buyer, this property needs repairs. Now, I don't want to be too simplistic, but we have a lot of beginners that watch me. And I want to explain to you the reason why this is so important is because when a house has need of property repairs, that means that somebody can't go down to the bank and get a loan. And you would think in America it would be different, but it's not. You would think that they could go down to the bank, get a loan, put some money in the house, fix it, move in. Now, it's not really how it works here. Okay. You're either a fixer or you're a retailer, which means you're going to move into it, right? So that's what I mean here in this conversation. So you're either a fix and flip investor and you're looking for some kind of money, a loan to do that, or you're looking for some kind of money loan to live in the property, but there's not a lot of options that I'm aware of for the in-between. Like, I'm going to fix it, then I'm going to live in it. Well, you might have to do some refinancing in there and somewhere in the middle. Okay, so when you see somebody that owns a property that has repairs, they have isolated away from possibility a major portion of the market, because that portion of the market is going to a bank or a mortgage lender asking for a loan to buy a property that they can live in. And when that mortgage person sends out an appraiser and an inspector, and they will every single time, they're going to say, oh, that property doesn't qualify for our kind of money. It has need of these repairs. Now, if your homeowner were willing to do this, cha-ching, 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 which they don't have the money for, if they did, they would have already fixed the house. But if they'll fix it, then we'll loan the money. So the deal's dead. So they've isolated a large pool of the retail market, because their house will not appraise, it will not pass inspection. Okay, so anytime you hear homeowners saying, oh, it needs a new roof, it's got foundation repairs that it needs, yes, it's got this problem, that problem, the other problem, I want your ears to perk up immediately, because what they know that maybe you haven't known until now, and now you do, is that they are having a hard time finding buyers. Okay. Financial distress, bleeding, must move, divorcing, inherited this property. The property's in bad condition. I'm going to blow your mind with this one, hopefully. The next one. Expireds. What I mean is expireds from the MLS. Anytime you hear a homeowner talking about an expired, well, we had our property listed. Oh, you did? Yes. Well, we didn't sell it. We had a buyer lined up, backed out, couldn't close the deal, couldn't get the money, couldn't get the loan, whatever the story is. The house didn't appraise. It doesn't matter. Whatever the story is, if they had the property listed, boom. I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow, but I want to share screens with you really quickly here, and I want to share something with you. And let me see if I can find the button to share screens. Yep, right here. Okay. This is my email account. I showed this last week, and it's just my Gmail. Okay. You guys saw some prop stream stuff. I was showing you how I've got notifications coming in. Look, I got this one like this morning or something. 129 new properties have been added to my saved search. In what category? In my hometown, failed listings. 129. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk more about doing long days on market too. Okay. Long days on market. Maybe we'll talk about that right now. Maybe we will. I don't know. Either one are motivated, right? Okay. So long days on market, meaning like when they sign up with a realtor, they sign up for like 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year, whatever. They sign a contract, an exclusive listing agreement. When that agreement is getting old and crusty and it's been a while, it has some age on it, and there's been no activity in a positive direction towards selling a house. Let's say it's been 4.5, 5 months on a 6-month deal with their realtor, and the realtor ain't even calling no more. Because the realtor, this is what realtors are guilty of. Uh-oh! I'm going to talk bad about realtors again. I love realtors, but here's the thing. Realtors are bad about talking to homeowners into putting their house on the MLS and then never having anything to do with them ever again. And hopefully what they're hoping is that some other realtor will see that this house is on the MLS and that they'll bring a buyer and then they'll magically make 3% or whatever their cut of the 3% is on the seller side for just putting the listing on the internet, and that was all. Now, wouldn't that be cake if that was the way that it worked for everybody in all places at all times as realtors? Everybody in the whole world watching this class would want to be a dang realtor. I would want to be a realtor too, but unfortunately that doesn't work a lot of the times. And what it does is it creates a wonderful scenario where somebody like you and me can come in. Hey, listen, this expired MLS stuff is big deal, man. There's 129 new ones in my little town right here. I live in Kansas City, but this is a suburb area right here. This Independence is not that big. There's 129 new ones right here, expireds. But if you added on long days on market, that's even bigger. Okay, so let's move on because I think we probably made that clear. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching today. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. We talked about this before, but this I want to pull back out again and highlight separately because this is a big deal too, especially in the last few years. Okay. Job loss. Okay. Big deal. It's a big deal. So you might be saying to yourself, well, I might recognize that homeowner says this, but then what do I say? Well, we can talk about what to say at another time, but there is training at realestatewholesalersclub.com. So if you want to scan this QR code there and go get the free agreements package, or if you just want to go visit realestatewholesalersclub.com, realestatewholesalersclub.com, go visit it. You'll be able to find there is a free phone training. It's actually got the phone script framework that I use myself personally and everything. So it really is great at isolating down to motivation. And the answer is, how do you do that? Well, you do that by asking the right questions. And if you don't know what the right questions are, that's how you find them. They're right over there. Okay, so job loss is a big deal, especially, hey, do I need to say it? The pandemic, the CVID and all of that. Job loss, man, that was a big deal. Still kind of is for a lot of folks. Okay, now I want you to hear another word and another thing they talk about that would indicate. This would indicate to you that they are motivated homeowners. Okay, if they talk about downsizing. Talk about downsizing. Oh yeah, we're just downsizing. They try to make it sound like it ain't no big deal. Empty nesters, individuals looking to downsize may be motivated because they need to get into something smaller with a smaller payment. Downsizing may be an indication that there's another problem here. You might go back to number one and find that there's financial distress. Or you may find that there's a need that they must move for some reason. Let me give you an example. A guy that owns a house that he lives in, and then he has a second property that he owns that is a condo on the beach or near the beach. Okay? What is that guy, when he says downsizing, what is he talking about? Well, he's likely talking about dumping that beachfront property. Why would he be interested in that? Because the rents are okay. He could rent it out, but the condo fees have increased, which makes it harder for him to rent. Okay. See what I'm saying? This real estate stuff is like 3D, y'all. It's not 2D. And the problem is when students come to me, they come to me having lived their whole lives in a 2D world. And I've got to make you start thinking in a new 3D chess kind of way here. All right? And that comes by practice, comes by learning, but practice comes by listening to the prospect, right? A lot, and hearing between the lines. Downsizing. So in the case that I was just giving you about downsizing, the guy getting rid of the beachfront condo, he's downsizing, but you might consider him a tired landlord. See, when I said downsizing, a lot of you pictured immediately, oh, older couple, empty nester. I even said empty nester, so I led you there. But it could be other things. See, this real estate stuff is 3D. Okay, so you've got to unleash that creative side of your brain. All right, here's the next one. This is number 9. Health issues in 2024. Be prepared to write deals on homes where the motivated homeowner is motivated because they have health issues. Okay. What does that mean? That means they know they're going to die. Ooh, that sounds harsh, doesn't it? But it's a thing. It's real for some people. Okay. What does this mean? This means that they've gotten old and one of the partners now has to be put in a home and the other partner can't take care a nursing facility, and that other partner can't continue to care for the home and themselves all by themselves either. health issues. What does this mean? This means that the person living there is now wheelchair bound and can't move in and out of the facility, the house, like they used to. And so they need something more accommodating. Health issues, meaning I can't work as many hours as I used to, and now I've got to do something to change my living situation. Okay, health issues, challenges that may make a homeowner prioritize a quick sale, okay? This usually is because of financial concerns too, okay? So again, this health stuff can be a tip that maybe the first one we talked about, which is bleeding financially. Maybe that's a problem. Okay. Maybe they're now in pre-foreclosure because they can't afford the medicine and the payment. Okay. You see where I'm going at? This whole real estate thing is a 3D world. And I know this, I've listed off a bunch of different horrible negative scenarios today, but listen, man, there's a lot of people out there hurting, and your job as a real estate investor is to find that and create a solution for it. Okay. Now here's the last one. And this is the last one just today. There's probably more that you can think of now that I've got the wheels turning. Here's what I think you guys all probably know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Market conditions when it's a buyer's market. When they start talking about how, when the homeowner themselves starts talking about this is a buyer's market, or the market's changing and, it's kind of becoming more of a buyer's market. Okay. What they're telling you on the sly here is, hey, listen, I know that I'm too high on price, and I've got a beer fart's chance in a whirlwind of selling this place. And okay. I'm just telling you. Okay. So that kind of segues into something that I want to talk about for a few minutes before we get out of here. And that is, market conditions are very important for us as real estate wholesalers. And what we're noticing right now in the market is that it is changing somewhat. Buyers, there's fewer of them. How do we know? We know that because there's 129 new failed listings in my little suburb here. 129 new ones this month, this month. So it's like everybody was selling their house and they couldn't find a buyer. That means the buyer pool is smaller. It's smaller. Supply and demand governs real estate. Okay? When there's fewer buyers in the market, what happens? If you don't know, you need to learn this. If there's an overabundance of buyers, what happens to the prices? What happens to the market? Okay, when there's an overabundance, when there's underabundance. Now we're living in a time where there's a smaller amount of buyers. So when there's a smaller amount of buyers, the buyers can be pickier because there's fewer of us with the money to get it done, Mr. Homeowner. So if you want to sell, you're going to have to meet my standards. Okay, so that's a buyer's market. We are transitioning right now from a crazy hot. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. It still kind of is in some places, but not a lot of places it's cooling down, right? So it's so hot. It's been a hot seller's market. Now it's transitioning into this cooler buyer's market. It's so cool. It's so cool. Now, what's so interesting about that is that there's been a lot of folks that I've noticed that stop pushing in real estate, in their education, in their learning, and in their skill growing and developing, because the market's changed and times are hard, they say on TV. Okay. And you take your financial advice from CNN and Fox News, and that's why your life is a wreck. Okay. Because the reality is there's greater opportunity now for you than there was a year ago. And I'm going to submit it to you that as things continue to develop, there's going to be an even greater opportunity for you over the next 12 months and the next 12 months. Okay. Am I making predictions? Well, kind of. But more than anything, I'm making encouragements because I want to encourage you, because there's so many people. Look, right here in my own hometown. I just showed it, but look, I just want to show it one more time, just in case you missed it. In my own hometown, there's 129 new properties this month that didn't sell on the MLS. 129. What are these 129 families, people, homeowners, whoever they are? What are they going to do? Some of them are bleeding. Some of them must move. It's not an option. Some of them are getting divorced and they can't stay where they are. Some of them just inherited this house and it's a disaster and they want out. They don't want to fix it. They don't want to mow the grass. Some of them just need to downsize. They got job transfers. They got job loss, job downgrade, pay downgrades. Some of them are just sick and they just need to move because they're sick. 129 right here, okay, in this changing market. All right, hopefully I've inspired you, because it's possible that you get the thinking, and it's a stinking thinking. It really is, that there's just one type of for sale by owner out there that I'm hoping to find, or there's just one type of for rent by owner or home seller or homeowner that I'm trying to target. I've got this very targeted list. You better take that list and kind of like get creative with it, expand it a little, because there's a lot of stuff washing up on the beach here. You ever been to the beach? There's like a lot of stuff washing up right now. I've walked on the beach and I never really, I've walked on the beach and not looked at the things on the beach that much. I've just been walking and talking. Is that what we're doing through life? Just walking and talking and walking on our little beach of life? But then when I've taken time and I've looked at the things that wash up on the beach, you know all the incredible things I've found? The incredible little shells, the shapes, the colors, the little creatures that come up on the beach. I have to Google them to figure out what in the world they are. I don't have any clue. And I still don't really. I don't know if anybody knows. Look, what is this? What is this giant thing? What is this little thing? What is this tiny little, almost microscopic? What is this see-through thing? There are deals out there. My point is that's just like that. You don't know what's going to wash up in your lead box. You don't know what it's going to be. It could be nothing. It could be everything. It could be financial distress. It could be I'm sick. It could be I need to move. It could be I inherited the property. It needs repairs. I'm downsizing. I tried to list it on the MLS and it didn't sell. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? If you could find that today, and I'm telling you, it's out there, and it's out there in growing fashion. All right? I love you a bunch. I've been going for 35 minutes. That's 5 minutes over today. So I owe you 5 minutes tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about sandwiches. I want to talk about sandwiches tomorrow, and it's going to be a great time. Because the meat, that's you. The money, that's getting in the middle. Getting in the middle of that sandwich. I want you to be the meat in that sandwich. All right. I'll see you again tomorrow. God bless you. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you again then for Sandwich Lease Option time. All right.
Welcome to my elite Apprentice program for creative real estate investors and coaches. Hi, my name is Justin Chamness. I have over 600 career wholesale deals and have been coached over 350 students with an impeccable record of success. But today I'm here to help you launch your own successful creative real estate investment business. Are you wanting to free yourself from a soul-sucking job? Or maybe you just want to build a legacy, an income that will last. It's not easy, but it's definitely doable. That's why I've created this elite Apprentice program to guide you step by step to make sure you know exactly what to do to succeed in this business. My Apprentice program includes all of my courses, including virtual lease options, wholesaling, and sandwiches. Sub 2.0, this is subject to wholesaling, co-wholesaling, bank-owned and MLS wholesaling, and lots more. Plus, I'll personally mentor you. I'm also going to personally duplicate my lead machine just for you. That's right, I said I'll pay for the leads that you generate with your very own copy of my personal lead generation machine. If you're not familiar, this is the lead gen machine that produces motivated seller leads every single day. I'm also going to be here for you to help you close these deals over the phone. You'll schedule times with me on 3-way calls to close these deals with the homeowners. That's why people call this the Shut Up Money Shortcut. In this program, you will graduate in 60 days. You may decide to leave then, or you may decide to stay long term. You might even become a team coach. Or perhaps you'll decide to cancel and leave anytime you're ready. I require no contracts to lock you in. My goal with this program is to create for myself professional future joint venture partners for joint venture deals. Also, future coaches that I can collaborate with. No one gets rich in this business alone. No one. So I'm building an elite unit of professional creative real estate investors and wholesalers. Are you one of us? You decide. Let me know. Or we could strategize for a few minutes and see if this is a good fit for you. Schedule a Zoom with me and let's find out. I'll see you soon.